All right, hey everybody. Well, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and share all these links and get all these links up. Um, yeah, got a pretty not busy, but a lot of catching up to do with you guys. So I've been looking forward to doing this live stream. Um, the main reason why I wanted to do this as a live stream is because of the fact that there's so much I want to share with you all. There's so much I want to talk to you all about, but do I really want to make a 3-hour video and then put so much time into rendering the video and all that kind of stuff just to see how you guys do see how you guys are doing. Like, it's worth it, but it's so much better just to go ahead and do a live stream where I could communicate with you face to face, live, if you will. Even though you're seeing this, some of you are probably going to be seeing this after the fact when it's a saved video. It still has that charm of being a live stream because you get to see me interact with other people. And that's really why I wanted to bring this live stream back. I did this a while back, got my Red Bull here. I woke up, I slept terrible last night. So I woke up, um, as you can like shave. I've been working the past couple days, long days, but I just woke up today not feeling right. I barely slept. I feel like I was tossing and turning all night. And so I woke up immediately and started going, oh, I don't think I could do this live stream today. And then I realized that's more of the reason that I need to do it, because I need to motivate myself to do it. And I've had that mindset all day. I still kind of feel like crap with my allergies and all that kind of stuff, lack of sleep last night, but I feel good. So um, I have my Red Bull here. I don't really drink a lot of soda anymore. Never really was a big soda drinker in terms of regular soda. I haven't had a regular soda in like 15 years, I feel like, but um, except Surge. I did have a Surge recently just to kind of, see if it still tasted like how it did back in the 90s when I last had it. But I don't really do a lot of soda anymore. I was drinking diet sodas. Um, and I've really been trying to get off the whole artificial sweetener kind of thing with diet sodas. But the only soda I actually drink itself is actually just soda water. I love soda water with nothing in it. I just love the bubbles. A lot of people don't really like that. They just drink, they drink soda water and they mix it with like alcoholic beverages or whatever. But I love soda water straight. I'll just go to the store and buy a bunch of like club soda bottles for like 99 cents, and I'll do that, and then I'll keep them, in my fridge. And so whenever I'm craving a soda, instead of going and rushing out and to buy a Diet Coke, which is terrible for you, which that was like my main drink for a long time, I'll have a glass of, soda water. And you know, I work at a hospital, so I was able to talk to a lot of different people about that. And they actually did this whole event where they were really referring people to drink just soda water if they really wanted to try to get off soda, because literally it's just carbonated water. So it's so much healthier than drinking all that other water with all that crap. So now that I don't drink like a five or like a huge, big gulp Diet Coke anymore, if I really need it, I'll go out and get it like a Red Bull or something lightly carbonated with, I haven't had a regular Red Bull in a while, but I got one specially for this live stream. So, damn, 27 grams of sugar. Dang, I think I was, but either way, Red Bull was always my go-to drink when I was a teenager, and I got one because I really need some caffeine. So while I talk to you about getting off my addiction of soda, here I am talking to you about me giving in to my addiction of caffeine. Now, for years, I was a huge coffee drinker too, and I still drink coffee from time to time, but if I have a cup of coffee, it gives me heartburn. I don't drink coffee with like cream or any of that kind of stuff in it. I just drink it black. I always have for a long time. Same thing with my tea, my hot tea, I drink it black. Um, but the thing with coffee, it's really acidic, and so it really causes me to have major heartburn all the time. So like if I have a cup of coffee, I have to have like a Tums or even like a one of those I guess like a Pepsid AC, those kind of things with me to kind of get that acid down. And it just, because of that, it just was not, enjoyable anymore. And so I rarely will have coffee nowadays. Now I still drink tea like crazy, hot tea. So I have plenty of my coffee cups for that. Wow, I'm really talking a lot about my drinking habits right now. But yeah, so let me double check and make sure I've shared some of these links. And like I was saying, I really wanted to go back to doing these live streams because of the fact that, you know, there's nothing better than talking to you all. And since I used to do like my live stream with geeky.com, which I'll continue to do in the future, you know, I've done like live streams in terms of like Q&As and stuff, and that's awesome. But sometimes you just want to do more than just answer questions, like in terms of content. I love answering questions from people, but I actually have a lot to say during this live stream today. So I think it's a little bit more interactive instead of just answering question after question after question, which this time I didn't really get a lot of questions anyways. In fact, I barely got any questions when I was sharing it around, which is all right because it's been a few days, or I came up with the whole idea of doing this last week. So I do have my Hangout chat open. So I'm not doing the YouTube chat. I'm actually using Google Plus, the Google Plus chat extension. So if you have that, go ahead and shoot over to that. But yeah, go ahead and ask your questions there. Also, I restarted a Twitter account this past week and been having a lot of fun with it. So you can follow me on Twitter. I had a lower third up, which had my Twitter thing, but this computer that I use, I'm trying to get a new laptop within the next 5 months or so. It just screws up, and my lower third will go off. We'll be in the middle of doing Saturday Night Insanity with Zarin Isaac on his channel, and I'll be in the middle of talking and stuff, and all of a sudden my lower third will just disappear. Like a few minutes ago, it just said Ryan Chattaway right here, then my Twitter thing below it. But sometimes Google just takes it away without even asking. You should ask Google. You should ask. But yeah, so I'm over in the chat in the Google Plus Hangout feed. So if you're interested, go to that. But yeah, I've been up to a lot. I took a little break from YouTube, as you guys knew, for a while, and got back slowly but surely. So I've done like 3 videos since I've been back from my break. Recently, I have not put up in the past week or so because I've been editing and finishing editing my silent movie marathon that is actually premiering this month. I'm almost done doing it. The entire marathon itself is probably, I have the entire marathon itself edited. I just don't, and rendered. I just don't have the intro and all that fun stuff included in that. And I did some other special stuff that I'm actually going to be including in the video, but the main marathon video itself is like 2 hours and 10 minutes, which will be, when I'm done with this, it will be the longest edited, rendered kind of video that I've ever done in terms of production. Like every single, I've done every single thing in regards to it. And it wasn't just like a live stream rendering. In fact, let me see something really quick. I might activate the YouTube Q&A setting if it lets me, which it should. Hold on one second. Gosh, I have such a strong internet connection, but it's saying that the quality, YouTube's saying the quality is bad. Whatever. It's a conspiracy. I just know they're against me. Let me see why. Damn, I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so I'm definitely not going to be doing the chat. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry, I really hate. Okay. I went ahead and just got out of all that because it was just going to piss me off knowing that YouTube is just so annoying with the way they compress everything. But yeah, 2 hours and 10 minutes for like a complete edited thing. The video will probably be about 2:15, 2 hours and 20 minutes. But still, a fully rendered, awesome marathon video. That length for me is actually really awesome. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with everybody. And I need this caffeine. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Also, what I've been doing is I've really always wanted to write. People who follow me on social media will know this, but I've always wanted to do writing, like write a book, all that kind of stuff. Throughout high school, I was always in all the writing classes. In college, all my electives in college, I actually took mostly writing classes and literature courses, and as well as taking film courses, I also took a lot of writing courses. Now, I know about all that stuff, but still, like the way my mind works, I'm just not really great in terms of spelling because I'm doing so quick. So I was always kind of like, discouraged to do that because I was like, man, I know how to do this, but I just feel like I'm writing like an idiot. Like I don't know how to spell whenever I'm in the middle of writing, even though it's usually not even an issue anymore. But I've always had this passion, and my wife was telling me she's like amazing with grammar. People have her, check grammar all the time for stuff, and with her job and different people, will just give her stuff to like proofread. So she's gonna be like my proofreader, but I'm actually always wanted to do a book. And so starting December 1st, I've actually been pre-planning the book for an idea that I've had for like a year, but this book I've actually been pre-planning all this month. And so far I have like all the plot stuff taken care of, the bios of the characters, all this stuff, and I am so motivated and so blown away by how I'm working with this, because I did not think I was going to have like a big burst of ideas with this, just because I was, just down on myself about it, which is usually whenever you create stuff and people are watching this, most likely there's something that you do that you love to do, you have a passion for, that you get discouraged about, and you start hearing those voices in your head saying, you're doing a terrible job, terrible job. Well, anyways, I pretty much deal with that about everything, but that's just how my mind works. But it's just all coming into place, and on December 1st I will start writing my first draft. And I was kind of inspired to do it the way I'm doing it by Luke Ryan, Razor Wire Reviews. You guys that follow me know that me and him are good friends. We've been for a while, and he's actually in the middle of doing I forget what it's called. It's like National November Novelist Writing Month, kind of. It's like a challenge, and he's doing phenomenal with it. And a bunch of people all over the world are just doing this challenge, and they're trying to get up. I think the goal is like 50,000 words to actually have like a first draft of a book, and or more than that. And I was really inspired by that, in terms of like pacing yourself and how to go about doing it. And so I'm doing that, but I'm not doing it over a course of a month. I'm doing it over the course of 2 months. So just starting December 1st until I'm done. But my goal is to have a final first draft of my first official novel by the last day in January. And that just means first draft. I'm not going to like say I'm going to have, all the stuff out to, because I'm going to want to, after that, and I get it proofread and all this kind of stuff, I'm going to go to the route of figuring out what I'm going to do from there next, whether it's going to be what kind of publishing it's going to get, what kind of, am I going to do self-publishing? I actually have people really close to me that know about that kind of stuff, and actually have had stuff published and like that, stuff like that before. I haven't talked to really anybody here on YouTube about it, but I've talked to people like in my personal life that know a lot about getting stuff published. And that's my goal. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but my goal is by the end of January to have a first draft of my first official novel. And thinking about it, I was thinking about all my projects that I've done over the years. And I've done a ton of writing projects over the years, and I didn't save all of them because I was a kid sometimes during some of it, and I just didn't care to save it. But I have like a notebook of all, like, I used to like do screenwriting like back in middle school. Like I tried my hand at screenwriting, and I have all these like Pulp Fiction style screenplays that I wrote, a middle schooler wrote, and it's just like constant terrible language throughout the entire thing. I was trying to be like a Martin Scorsese film. I look back at it and I'm just like, I still have it upstairs, and I look at it and I just laugh because it's so off the wall and pointless in terms of, you know, it's violent just to be violent, and it's a lot of cussing just to do it. And of course, that was probably a lot to do with my age at the time. I was in middle school, and of course, you thought it was cool to do all that kind of stuff and talk about all that kind of stuff and talk that way. And I was just like completely, immersed in that style of. I was really into crime films at the time, so yeah. But also during that whole time period, since I was a kid, I've always loved James Bond movies. Um, had them all on VHS, then DVD. Now, as you can see, like right up there, I have the Bond 50 set. So I mean, I actually have all the novels too, and I'm actually reading through them right now. But I read all the novels when I was younger. I used to read Tom Clancy books in like middle school, so I was like really all about doing things about secret agents and uh, spies and all that stuff. And so I remember I had a friend back in like sixth grade that was into the same kind of books that I was, and we weren't in the same grade, but we talked to each other about it, about doing stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, I really want to write, a book." Actually, this friend, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, you see this stack of books. That's like some of my James Bond books right there, stacked up. And at the bottom, you see like this blue, red. That's like a special edition of You Only Live Twice, the novel. And that friend is actually the one who gave that to me. And he was writing something. I was like, I want to write my own secret agent too. So like literally, I started writing stuff about like secret agent stuff. And then I didn't really do anything with it. I put it away. I didn't even finish it. I probably got one chapter in, and then I got immersed into the Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy novels. Well, so during that time period, I was still into that. But when I was in elementary school, so let's take it back even further. I did do a couple little short stories. When I say back then I thought it was like books, but I did do a couple short stories of my own secret agent. And sorry, the camera's up there, computer's here. I should be looking up there. But I actually invented my own secret agent, inspired by the James Bond books and James Bond movies, and I did my own. Let me see. I mean, they're only about 30 pages, but I did my own. And I did like one every 6 months, and I did two of them. And my agent his name was Sean Smith. So the first one was called Hiding Out, a Sean Smith adventure. And of course, it says written by Ryan Chattaway and illustrated by Ryan Chattaway. But I didn't really draw anything except this line right here, and then this. This is just a photocopy of a picture of the Statue of Liberty I took when I went there when I was younger. And so I just used that picture. So yeah, you guys could go, if you guys want to ask me some questions, you could head over to the chat over on Google Hangout, like any events. Let me look on YouTube really quick again, really. I don't know. I guess it's not going to be a question kind of thing today, which is all good. We'll set up a Q&A eventually for next time. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, Hiding Out, a Sean Smith adventure. And it is so hilarious looking back at this now. But I'm really proud because I actually, sorry, it's bent up here at the top. I've had these for so long. And I mean, it's like it's only one-sided, but I took a bunch of lined paper and wrote this huge story. It's like 40 pages long. And yeah, so basically he is a Sean Smith adventure, but his code name is 766. Hold on one second. Luke just sent me a message saying the Q&A is up. I'm just not looking at it. Let's see. It's up to the side. I can't see anything. Oh, there we go. It works now. All right. Thanks, Luke. Okay, yeah, I will definitely get to those questions now. So, wait. All right. Yeah, I got some questions from Luke and then my buddy Quack that I will actually be talking about shortly when I get to some of my movies. But yeah, basically, Sean Smith works with the Own Secret Service. That's the name of it. Own Secret Service. I don't know what Own stands for. I forgot. Let me see if I can see. I know I forgot. Let me read the first paragraph about this. But his name is 776 or 766 or whatever. The year is 2000. The day is Monday, January 21st. Agent 776 started a secret service 5 years ago. Exactly, I guess. We have 27 agents, so it goes from third person to first person very quickly. And tons of people who want to crush us into little pieces of crap. There is one we need to get rid of, Arrow 23. That is the name of my criminal organization, Arrow 23. And their symbol is a 23 with an arrow through it. Yeah, so that's basically it's just somebody has a bomb. He finds out from his boss that there's a bomb planted somewhere in New York City, or in Manhattan actually, and nobody knows how it got there, and so he's like investigating it in perfect James Bond style. It ends with him like at a huge layer like under the Statue of Liberty, and the bomb is hiding out. I guess that's really what I meant by it. But yeah, so here's the first one. I would love to like actually do something with these one day, because I think the plot is really funny. I think it's a really good little kid parody of like the James Bond books. And then a little bit later, I did Next Stop Hawaii, which is the second Sean Smith adventure. Hiding Out Part 2. Now I did illustrate that, so that's him, and that was definitely based off the James Bond VHS collector's edition VHS tape covers. With obviously you could replace that with like Roger Moore or something like that, and then I don't know, something behind him. But that's a bomb. Apparently, there's a bomb. The same organization that they want to blow up Hawaii. And so somewhere in Hawaii, there's actually a bomb under the island that's going to demolish the entire state. And so Sean Smith goes on the epic adventure to try to get it all taken care of. And of course, by the end, he's double crossed by an agent and all that fun stuff. And it ended, and I really wanted to make a whole series about it. In fact, this one ends with, well, I need to get some rest now. Okay? Bye. And that's how it ends. And then it says, Sean will be back in the war with the Nazis. Basically, the criminal organization was going to be exposed as actually sheltering former, Nazi SS officers. And I guess I wasn't really thinking at the time, thinking that the SS officers were actually still going to be alive and doing stuff, like crazy stuff in the year 2000. I don't know. Maybe that's why I never went on to the next one, because I couldn't get it all figured out. But yeah. So this is my little adventures of Sean Smith, which is really, really funny. I mean, I didn't think that these would even be here, but I was really inspired to get these out of my boxes again, because recently I've talked about it on my channel, but my uncle passed away, and he lived like right next door to my house growing up. And every time I wrote anything, I always ran it over to him to get his approval. And he was always like really, really good at motivating me to do, to continue to be creative and all that fun stuff. And so he passed away recently, and I just like wanted to go dig up some of the old memories of these. And that was another reason why I really wanted to motivate myself to write my first book, because I think maybe he would have wanted that. He would have wanted me to eventually become somewhat of a writer and try to actually do it without, you can't say that you can't make it if you don't do it. Like I don't want to get to the end of my life and regret ever not trying. I'd rather try, and if I fail trying, then at least I could try. I tried. So let me get to some questions first, and then we will continue. I'm done with that. Let me get my water out now. Okay. Sorry if that was really loud. All right. Luke asks me thoughts on the Miyazaki movies you have seen and which you haven't seen. Currently using the soundtracks. Oh, you're using the soundtracks to. Okay, remember I told you Luke's doing some writing now. So I guess he's actually listening to the soundtracks while he's writing. That's actually a great idea. I need to get me a playlist together and do the same thing, because I think music is just definitely the way to go in terms of background. But thoughts on the Miyazaki movies I've seen. The ones that I've seen, I actually own all of them. Porco Rosso, actually that wasn't the first one I saw. The first one I ever saw was Spirited Away, like back when it came out, and I barely remember it. I was young, I didn't really care at the time, so I need to revisit that one. But Princess Mononoke was the first one I saw, and I loved every single second of it, and I was blown away, and that's what made me go further into his filmography. And the next one I saw was Porco Rosso, which I really loved, and I wanted to see it ever since Luke you did your Michael Keaton series, and just the whole backstory in regards to the film for you, like the personal feelings of the film and your experiences with the film, is really what made me want to see it in the first place. But then I was actually like, other than Michael Keaton doing the English dub of the main character, like it's actually just a damn good movie, and it's so simple. But it's like Miyazaki movies, like to me, have this like really powerful message to each and every one of them. You could really talk about it for a while, and like think about it for a while. But Porco Rosso's is like really, um, it's a shorter film. But the meaning, like the little message that you could get behind it, is so much more. I don't know. It was just so much more powerful to me in some ways. Maybe it's because of I need to just do a video talking about it, but um, it was such a great film. I also saw um, yeah. So I've really seen. I mean, I think then I saw um, My Neighbor Totoro, but I was halfway through watching it, and I got it through Netflix, and the Blu-ray was scratched. And so, or not the Blu-ray, the DVD was scratched, so I had to stop watching it halfway through. I was pissed, sent it back. And then I have the Castle of Cagliostro, which I just haven't watched yet. I have the Blu-ray, I just haven't watched yet. By the time I got that, I was like already into like something else in terms of film, so like I'm waiting to watch that until when I get back into the Miyazaki films, which probably is going to be a little bit sooner than I thought. Because today I actually woke up feeling like I really wanted to start going through them again, especially as it gets colder outside. I don't know. I really love watching films like that, and even foreign films in general, like even like Seven Samurai and Japanese cinema. I like watching those. Like it's weird. I watch those more when it's like cold outside. So I don't know. So yeah, there's that question. All right. My buddy Quack, he has a channel here on YouTube as well. Go check him out. 1 month out from The Force Awakens. How excited are you, and are you worried about anything? I'm very excited, and to be honest with you, I'm not really worried about anything. I really don't go into movies worried about stuff. In fact, I could be anybody who knows me, I could kind of be a pushover. A movie could be bad, but I just won't even see it being bad until like a week after I watch it. But I'm not really worried about anything at all. I'm really excited about everything I've seen so far, and I'm very excited. And yeah, I'm not really worried about anything. I'm not at all worried that they haven't shown Luke in the trailer. I've actually been reading a lot of like forums and stuff, and there's some people that are like legitimately passionately pissed off because they think, I don't know, because Luke isn't in the trailers, which I understand, like you could be mad about it, but there's people that are like, I've seen people that are saying, oh, J.J. Abrams and Disney could go to hell. They're teasing us. They're just trying to get money out of us. I'm like, dude, they're gonna make money either way. Like, I doubt it's just great marketing. I think people complain if a trailer shows too much or too much of the characters and all that stuff. But then when you finally get a trailer that actually teases, people get up in arms. So it's like you can't really please anybody. So yeah, I'm very, very, very excited. Very much looking forward to it. Luke said, Tommy, can you hear me? That sounds familiar. I don't know where that's from. But let me see. Hold on one second. I'm seeing if there's anything else in there. All right. Yep, so I answered all those questions. So I'm going to move on to the next thing until I, see some more questions pop up. Actually, let me answer another question. Ryan, as a cinephile, do you have any goals that you're working on? For instance, I'm making an effort to watch more foreign films, as well as gain a better understanding of scores and soundtracks. I've always told myself I am gonna at least once a month I'm gonna watch a film that I don't really think I would have normally seen, but at least once a year I try to get into another genre, and I spend a long time trying to go through films in that genre because I feel like most of my favorite films are actually genres that I discovered through those kind of things. I don't think I would have actually been into a lot of the movies I'm in now if I didn't just give give a I just didn't dive right into some films. Let me look. Um, let me see really quick. Lately I haven't really, because I've been really falling back on more comforting type stuff. So I haven't, or familiar type stuff, just because of stuff that's been going on. I haven't really been as adventurous with film per se. But I mean, I guess you could say like during Halloween time. Um, I don't know. Yeah, really, this past year I have not um, really put a goal of like watching more foreign language films and stuff like that because I always just watch movies just to watch them and watch what I want to watch and what I'm interested in next. But usually, say I'm going through a style of film. Um, okay, sorry. Sometimes my words come out like complete diarrhea. Hold on, really quick. Hold on. Okay. This is usually how I do it. Recently I went and saw Bridge of Spies. I love Cold War films. I love Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks films. So I've been what I do is I don't really set a goal like, okay, this year I'm going to do this, this, and this. I just try to watch more films on that subject than I watch more that I haven't seen before. So when I watched Bridge of Spies, I actually started watching um, even more Cold War films. Like some that I love, like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and Day of the Jackal, and just a bunch of different Cold War films. And what I what I do in those situations, I just like try to pick a film out of that genre that I haven't seen before, and then I'll watch that. I think like I watched was it 3 Days of the Condor? I always get the title messed up, but it's with Faye Dunaway and Robert Redford, and it was the first time I'd ever seen that, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. And that's usually what I do. And at the same time, I've been watching Spielberg films, and um, what's it called? I've been, buying a lot of more Spielberg films that I haven't bought before or seen on Blu-ray. So I've been buying them on Blu-ray. And I recently watched 1941, which I love. I think it's hilarious. It's flawed but hilarious. I think Spielberg and Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis did a great job with that film. But the two headliners for the film, even though it's a huge cast, the two high credited people, top billing people, are Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. Hold on, I'm walking towards something really quick. And in that, I just started watching some more comedies that I had never seen before. And one of them was Neighbors, starring John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, which I thought was hilarious as well. And that's usually how I branch out. Now, I do randomly get urges to where I'm like, okay, I want to see this genre of films. Like I've really, in my back of my mind, I've really wanted to make it a thing to try to watch more martial arts films in terms of like Bruce Lee type films, and even going and I used to watch a lot of kung fu growing up, and I want to try to get to some of those more obscure ones, and that's usually what I do because the way my brain works, if I set a goal for myself and say, okay, this month I'm going to do this month I'm going to do this, I usually just end up getting stressed out because it becomes like a job for me. But in terms of like how you said you're going for a better understanding of scores and soundtracks and stuff like that, that's exactly what I do. I think really all of us as film viewers and stuff like that and film lovers, we do that on a daily basis anyways. In terms of whenever I watch a movie, I want to know everything about the movie. And so then I will read up about the film and then the people who worked on the film, what was the motivation behind the stuff in terms of the music and screenplay and all that stuff. So that's usually how I do it. I don't just do it in set periods of time. I just do it all the time. And yeah, I did a lot of that kind of stuff though in the past. And that was how I branched out. I just have been in a place the past year or so to where I haven't really been motivated to go out into another genre. The last time I did big time was actually the Godzilla films, which now I own every Godzilla film that's available. And I had always been a Godzilla fan, but there were so many of them I hadn't seen before. And so I spent a good portion of a year, over the course of a year, collecting all of the Godzilla films. So now I have like my entire Godzilla collection, which is actually behind this because I have it double rows. So it's actually behind that. Sorry, sometimes when I answer questions, like I said before, my mouth turns into a diarrhea of information. So yeah, so maybe this coming year, I'll get more into maybe some martial arts type films, maybe even some kung fu type films. But yeah, I would say my goal for next year is to get into those type of films. And then lately, I've been seeing like a lot of the post of that Skin Slip here on YouTube has been doing, where he's been watching a lot of the really, really obscure like genre, like horror films and like Corman films. I've always loved Roger Corman, but there's still a whole bunch of his films I haven't seen. So next year, that's probably one of my main things I'm going to try to do. So yeah, let me go ahead and get another drink. All right. And next up, I was going to talk about good friend here on YouTube of mine, Quack. He has a channel, and he's a patron of mine on Patreon, and he's just an overall awesome dude. He actually lives here in Florida as well. He's from New York, but he lives here in Florida now, right on the other side of the state. And so he does videos as well. He has an awesome taste in movies. He does a lot of stuff for geeky.com, in terms of their live streams and stuff too. So after this video, when it goes up, I'm actually going to put his link in the description box so you guys can check him out. But he sent me a package recently. Actually, I still have the box right here. He sent me a package, and in fact, I should do I should do what Ian did that one time in his video. He's like, I got a box. I got a box. And that's when he's like, yeah. I guess you had to have seen that video. But he sent me a package. He knows I'm like, he's, as well as me, is big into Disney. Disney films of all kinds, and he has actually been on a roll lately about trying to collect the Disney treasures, Walt Disney treasures, which are very, they're all out of print. They're all pretty rare. You get some more than the others in terms of, being pricey or not. I actually bought Dr. Sin when it first came out, and it was actually one of the, first big purchases like in that collection that I've ever done, and it went out of print like 2 weeks later, and is now one of the most sought after ones. And people try to sell it on eBay for like $400, and I have it. It's actually I keep it where my Criterions and Steelbooks are. But he sent me a Walt Disney Treasures of Silly Symphonies, which I am very, very excited about. Yeah, so Silly Symphonies, the historic musical animated classics. This is 352,035 of 150,000. Those are the numbers, but apparently these books, these sets have actually been getting. They say that that's how many there are, but they're actually a lot more rare than they actually perceive. I'm pretty sure. I know that was the case for the Dr. Sin ones, but this is a limited series of select rare material from the Disney Studio Vaults. 2-disc set includes award-winning musical shorts and a limited edition collectible lithograph. These were all released between 1928 and 1939. Yeah, so there's the back, right there. So let's go ahead and open this up. I could take this off. And I was blown away when he sent this to me. It comes in the steel packaging, or the tin. So yeah, there's the front. There's the back. And you open it up, and first thing is that there's a booklet. And it just has, a bunch of archival type stuff in there, notes, and wow, let's see what it has. Disc 1 has fables and fairy tales, favorite characters. Wow, in terms of like Three Little Pigs and all that kind of stuff. Wow, this is really, really good. I cannot wait to watch some of these. Disc 2 is music stuff, Leonard's picks, songs of the Silly Symphony. And then there's like an ad for some of the other stuff. The other one that I really want is the Tomorrowland one, which talks about, Tomorrowland and all that fun stuff and the Disney World and like what Epcot was originally supposed to be. But I also really want that one right there, the Disneyland one, which has all the Disneyland TV specials on it. So one day I will definitely try to get my hands on that. And so, and here is, there's disc 1. And there is disc 2. And this includes like the Ugly Duckling and all that kind of stuff. I am very, very much looking forward to this. Thank you so much, Matt, again, for sending this to me. You guys just definitely need to go check out his channel. He deserves so many more subs than he has. He's fairly new here on YouTube, but definitely go and give him a little bit of support, please. Please. He's awesome. And I want him to continue to make videos too, because his opinion on film and opinion on a lot of 80s and 90s pop culture, like in general, is like awesome. He's like really into really everything, but his like specialty is like 80s and 90s pop culture. There's some geeky, nerdy stuff on there, cartoons, and he's just really into everything. And he's just a cool guy. So go check him out. All right, let me load. I'm just reloading the question thing. My computer's a piece of crap. So I'm reloading the question thing to see if there's any more questions before I continue. Nope, we're good. All right, so my next thing I was going to do was talk about some of the stuff I've bought and received. I haven't done a Blu-ray and DVD update for months now, at least since my birthday. I started to do filming of some of them, and like my Lawrence Arabia set, my Casablanca set, my long-awaited Singing in the Rain set. And I mean long-awaited for me, because that is the set I was filming when I decided I need to go ahead and take a break from filming videos because it was such a terrible experience. In fact, that set is still upstairs where my light kit is. And yeah, this just was not a good experience, and I need to refilm it. But every time I try to refilm it, I get unmotivated to do it because I just feel like I'm going to get tongue-tied again and all that stuff. So yeah, I have a ton of stuff to show. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I am going to show all of them. So let me go ahead and start with my Blu-rays really quick. And I'm sure I've bought other Blu-rays and stuff too that are already like in my collection that I just forgot to keep out, or I forgot that they're new. But I've shared some of that stuff on Instagram and everything too, like the Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers producer's cut. I think I got that too. And yeah, but these are the main ones that I've definitely received from birthday money and birthday in general, and just a couple of these are actually within the past week. So I'll put those there first. But first up, since we were still kind of talking about Disney, I didn't make a video of this because everybody else made videos of it, and I didn't want to just bore everybody with something that you've already been seeing a million times. But I got Walt Disney's Aladdin. I pre-ordered this one off of Amazon. Pre-ordered it when it was first available to pre-order, so I was really looking forward to this, and I'm so glad I got it. It looks great on Blu-ray, and it's just an amazing film and loaded with great special features, including a lot of behind the scenes with Robin Williams. Next up, I can't remember if I've shown this in the video or not, but I love this film so much. I think it is Walt Disney's ultimate masterpiece in terms of creativity and being innovative. If 2001: A Space Odyssey is Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece like that as well, I mean, I consider a lot of Stanley Kubrick's films masterpieces anyways, but 2001 was a special one because it was so innovative in terms of special effects and all that kind of stuff, and how groundbreaking and divisive it was. That is how I feel about Fantasia, which is this one. I think this film is freaking-tacular. I love this movie so much. I love every segment. I love all the music. I'm a sucker for classical music, and I just think that this movie is just a masterpiece, like 2001: A Space Odyssey is. Now, in terms of like I love, basically my top 3 Disney films of all time are Fantasia. Fantasia is probably, like, I would say, number 3, but Snow White and Pinocchio are my 2 favorite, and then Fantasia. And this movie just looks amazing on Blu-ray. I ordered the what's it called, region-free edition. So because I think the lone edition of Fantasia that does not include Fantasia 2000 is out of print. So I really wanted to just get Fantasia in its single release, and so I got Fantasia. All right. Next up, this is one of the things I got for my birthday as well that I wanted to bring up, is one of my all-time favorite films. Definitely my favorite in terms of the movies that James Dean starred in, and it's my favorite Elizabeth Taylor film, and it's definitely my favorite Rock Hudson film. And I am talking about Giant. I love this film. so much. I think it is just epic Hollywood melodrama, epic at its finest. And I was really excited when they came out with the Blu-ray because the film itself really needs a good restoration and it needs to be seen in 1080p. But I was very, very disappointed when I saw this Blu-ray when I finally got it. And there is really no restoration, like a good cleaning of the film done. Now, a lot of after doing some research, I think a lot of that is because of the film stock that they used. It just was not like you could watch the movie and can tell that the technology they used back then. I forgot what it was that they used to film, but back then, a lot of the studios had their own version of like Technicolor and film stock that they would use. And whatever one they used, I think it was Warner Vision or something like that. It just did not age well, and it just does not. It needs. I think it could be tremendously cleaned up. Um, it's kind of hard now. Some of the there's really. It's not really. Some of the scenes there's not really any sharpness to it. It's like really out of focus. Some of the background stuff, and like I said, a lot of that could have been how it was filmed as well, and how it hasn't really held up in terms of all that film stock and stuff. But I mean, it looks better than the DVD, of course, because it's in 1080p. But I was really disappointed that I just wish that they would do a full-on restoration and at least clean it up. But that does not hinder from this being a amazing film. I love every single second of this film, and this is one of the films that I've actually recommended to so many people when they're like, "Oh, I really want to see like a good classic Hollywood epic." Not in the way of like Ben-Hur or Lawrence of Arabia. I'm talking about like a Hollywood, just epic Hollywood film. And this is one I always point to because it's entertaining, has a good message behind it, and it has stellar acting and cinema scenery as well. So yeah, Giant. All right, next up, as I already mentioned, I've been on a huge Steven Spielberg kick, so I've been upgrading a bunch from DVD to Blu-ray. First up, I got this after around my birthday, and I got his first film, Duel. I love this film so much, and it looks amazing on Blu-ray, especially some of the ending scenes when the sun is starting to set a little bit. I mean, it is spectacular looking. So definitely, you guys need to check this out. Next up, I got this about a week ago. Been really waiting until it was on sale to pick it up, and it finally got pretty low on Amazon. I think briefly it was like $10. 10, and it wasn't on sale on Amazon for $10. It was like one of the third-party sellers, brand new. And so, what film am I talking about? Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List, which is a powerful, powerful film that takes place during the Holocaust. I recommend this film to anybody. It is just, dark in terms of subject matter, but it is just such a powerful film. And just the fact that you're on this ride with Oskar Schindler, who starts out the war just trying to make money off the cheap labor of the Jews, and then over the course of the events in the film, he starts to realize that it's not all about the money; it's about the lives that are being taken, and it's just like a powerful story that takes place during the Holocaust. More specifically, the city of Krakow. Krakow, I think that's how you pronounce it. So it doesn't really go all over the place, but there's like Oskar Schindler goes to like Krakow, and that's where like the story takes place, and the Holocaust is actually the backdrop, but then it ends up being completely in the forefront of the film. So yeah, Schindler's List, and this film, I'd have to say if I had a top 10 list of best cinematography for a film in 50 years, in the past 50 years, Schindler's List would definitely be in the top 10. Now, some people might be like, well, it's because it's black and white, of course. I'm like, no, it's not because it's black and white. It's actually because of how he uses the black and white, but how he Spielberg and Janusz, who's the cinematographer, staged these shots. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie where Oscar is in his room and you don't see his face, and you see him getting on all of his ties and all of his Nazi pins and all this stuff. And the way that it's shot is like you see a shadow of somebody putting on their jacket, and it's focused on, a bottle of what does he drink in the film? I forget what he drinks in the film, but like a bottle of liquor and change, whatever change he has, just laying on the top of the dresser, and the shadows. I mean, it's so noirish in the way it's filmed. The shadows are perfect, and then he goes into this club by himself, and it's all about him trying to scheme to become friends with all these powerful Nazi officers to kind of like help back his business, mind. And he walks in, and recently when I watched this again, this scene, I was like, okay, Spielberg could make a film in this like Casablanca, not redo it, not remake it, but he could make a film like Casablanca these days, and it would be completely as believable and as beautiful as Casablanca was back then. The scene was spectacular, just the shadows and the use of black and white. Of course, the rest of the film has stunning cinematography, but it's that little stuff. I catch that little stuff, and I know a lot of you do too. But it's those little things that really, okay, not only is this just a powerful movie because of the subject matter, but it is actually a very, very well-made movie that deserved the Best Picture award that year. Because it is a quality film. It is a quality picture. I know some people now are like, has it been long enough since the film came out or since the Holocaust to actually just judge the film like for really what it is? That's a whole nother discussion, but I think it's just a brilliant film anyways. But the artistic, the artist, the artist, the just the artistic talent behind this film. I mean, the score by John Williams, the editing by Michael Kahn, the screenplay, Steven Spielberg's directing, Janusz Kaminski as the cinematographer, who's like one of the best of the last 20 years, I feel like. I don't know. It was everybody. Liam Neeson as in the title role, Ray Fiennes as just a terrible, sadistic, um, ass, commandant, and he's just ruthless. And so I think this is like everybody at the top of their game. And this is Kathleen Kennedy being the executive producer, and now she's in charge of Lucasfilm. Everybody was at the top of their game when this film came out, and they put all their talents into it, and it is just stunning. So yeah, really glad I own this too. And the next film is Steven Spielberg's. I think it's just a completely underrated film. I actually did a vlog going to see this film when it came out, and I was blown away by it. I think it's a beautiful film. It's a heartwarming film, and it's just another amazing wartime film, and that is War Horse. I've always loved this film since it came out. Has one of my favorite, I guess, how like John Williams has his very recognizable scores, but then you have all of his other scores that are just so beautifully written and so like just amazing that you don't actually really know, like it's not as recognizable because it's not like doesn't have like a march or like a theme. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like not Batman, Superman, like the Superman theme is like a march, and then the music cues for like Indiana Jones, it's all like very like fanfare marchy kind of thing. But he does a lot of other scores that are just so beautiful. This is one of them, and Lincoln also had another beautiful score, and this is my favorite out of the, I guess you could say, unrecognizable John Williams scores. But yeah, this film is just beautiful. I got this for $8, and it was brand new, and it was has 4 discs. Disc 1 is the Blu-ray. Disc 2 is the Blu-ray special features. Disc 3 is the DVD, with the bonus features, and then disc 4 is a digital copy, which I don't really use my digital copies, but don't leave a comment asking for me because that's so annoying. I guess a word to the people on Instagram and stuff, that if people post a picture of a new movie, when you post a picture, there's nothing like, you like want to talk with people, you want to like maybe exchange some comments with each other, but don't comment and say digital copy ? Like, come on. I don't know, to me that's just really annoying. I might get some hate for that, but I just cannot stand it. I wish there was a dislike button on Instagram, because I would dislike all those comments. Yeah, so those are those. Also, I'm not going to show all these. I had you know, I really wanted to complete my Brian De Palma collection even more.